Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're really digging into the heart of Bitcoin. Proof of work, or POW. Our mission is to get past the buzzwords and see how it actually builds trust where there isn't any central authority.
Yeah, exactly. And it's key to remember, POW didn't just spring into existence with Bitcoin. The basic idea, it goes back further.
Right, like Adam Back's Hashcash
Yeah,
from '97.
that's the one. Hashcash was designed to fight email spam. The idea was simple. Make the sender do a little bit of computational work, prove they spent some CPU time before sending an email. Makes mass spamming costly.
Okay, so Satoshi Nakamoto took that concept, that computational cost, proving something happened, and really scaled it up, way up, secure an entire financial ledger. Right.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And the problem it solves is fundamental for digital money. Double spending.
Which is just the risk that you could copy digital money like a file and spend it multiple times.
Exactly. In the normal financial world, your bank stops that. They keep the one true record. Bitcoin needed a way to get everyone to agree on that one true record without any central bank.
And that's proof of work. Using energy, computational work, to establish what's true, like a one CPU, one vote system, sort of.
Yeah, you could put it that way. The vote is cast by successfully doing the work.
So let's get into the nitty-gritty of that work, the mining process. What exactly is the puzzle miners are racing to solve?
It's fundamentally a guessing game, a brute force search. They take the block's data, add a random number, the nonce, and hash it all together using SHA-256.
Over and over again.
Billions, trillions of times per second across the whole network. They keep changing the nonce, hashing again, until, just by chance, the output hash is a number that's below the network's current difficulty target.
Which usually means the hash starts with a whole string of zeros, right?
That's the practical effect, yes. Finding that specific hash, that golden nonce, proves they did the work.
Okay, but the nonce is what, 32 bits? That's only about 4 billion possibilities. They must burn through those incredibly fast. What happens then?
Right, they exhaust that range almost instantly. So there's another trick. They can tweak a small piece of data inside the special Coinbase transaction within the block itself. It's often called the extra nonce.
So changing that slightly changes the input for the main hash calculation.
Exactly. It gives them a whole new set of 4 billion nonces to try. It's like getting a fresh page to scribble guesses on, ensuring they can keep hashing indefinitely.
That makes sense. Now, one of the most elegant parts of this system is how it maintains stability. The network targets a new block every 10 minutes, on average. How does it keep that rhythm with computing power constantly changing?
That's the difficulty adjustment. It's brilliant, really. Every 2016 blocks, which is roughly 2 weeks if blocks are found every 10 minutes.
The protocol automatically looks back.
Yes, it checks. Did those last 2016 blocks take more or less than 2 weeks? If they came in too fast because more hash power joined the network, the puzzle difficulty goes up. Makes it harder to find the next block.
And if blocks were too slow, maybe because miners left?
Then the difficulty goes down. It gets easier. It's this constant feedback loop, this sort of economic thermostat, ensuring that blocks keep coming out, on average, every 10 minutes, no matter what. It underpins Bitcoin's predictable issuance schedule.
And all this accumulated work, block after block, is what gives Bitcoin its immutability. If you, the listener, want to change an old transaction,
You'd have to redo the proof of work for that block, and for every single block that's been added on top of it since then, faster than the entire rest of the network is adding new blocks.
which becomes practically impossible cost-wise very quickly, especially after, say, 6 blocks, the standard confirmation threshold.
Right. The energy cost to rewrite history becomes astronomical. This leads us to the main theoretical attack, the 51% attack.
Where someone or some group controls more than half the network's hashing power.
Correct. If they achieve that, they could potentially rewrite the most recent history. They could, for instance, spend some coins, wait for the transaction to confirm a little, then use their majority power to mine an alternative chain without that spending transaction, eventually making their chain the accepted one. They'd effectively reverse their own payment.
But crucially, what can't they do?
They cannot steal coins from addresses they don't control. They can't change the fundamental rules like the 21 million coin limit or the block reward schedule. They can only really mess with their own very recent transactions. It's disruptive, but limited.
Okay, so the whole point of this massive energy-intensive POW system is decentralization, reaching agreement without a boss. If that's the goal, how's it doing? Because we've seen trends that look like Well, centralization.
That's the tension, the paradox, isn't it? The raw economics do push towards concentration. First, you had the move from CPUs to GPUs, then FPGAs, and now ASIC specialized mining hardware.
Which costs a lot, creates a high barrier to entry, hobbyists get pushed out.
Definitely. And then you have mining pools. Individual miners pool their hash power together. They smooth out their income. Instead of maybe finding a block once a year, they get tiny fractions of rewards constantly.
But that means the pool operator, not the individual miner, decides which transactions go into the blocks they find. Power concentrates there.
It does concentrate decision-making power over block construction, absolutely. So you have these centralizing pressures driven by efficiency and economics.
But is it a lost cause?
Yeah.
Is decentralization fading?
Well, it's dynamic. Miners aren't locked in. They are businesses chasing profit. If a pool operator gets too powerful or starts censoring transactions miners don't like or takes too high a fee...
Miners can just switch pools instantly.
Exactly. That mobility acts as a check and balance. It's this equilibrium between the efficiency of pooling and the freedom to move. POW essentially channels that individual greed, that self-interest for rewards, into securing the entire network collectively.
It's a fascinating system, turning self-interest into security. But that brings us to a really critical long-term thought, maybe something for you to chew on.
The security budget question.
Right. Right now, miners are paid mostly through the block subsidies. New bitcoins created with each block. But that subsidy halves every 4 years. Eventually, it becomes negligible.
The idea is that transaction fees paid by users to get their transactions included in a block will have to rise to replace the subsidy and pay for the network's security.
So here's the provocative thought. What happens if Layer 2 solutions, like the Lightning Network, become so successful? If most transactions move off the main Bitcoin blockchain to save on fees?
Then where do the fees come from to pay those miners to incentivize all that massive proof-of-work energy expenditure that secures the base layer? If the base layer gets starved of fees, can it maintain its security long-term?
That's the billion-dollar or maybe trillion-dollar question facing Bitcoin's future economic model. Something to think about.